What's a subtle sign that someone had a rough childhood? 1. My sister-in-law adopted 3 siblings who were completely self-sufficient at a very young age. When they were visiting, I noticed a lot. If I gave anything to the oldest boy, he would pass it off to the youngest sister. Then I'd give him another, and he passed it to the middle sister. Then I'd give him another, and he'd finally keep it for himself. I asked if they wanted water. He said yes, and I asked if the girls wanted water too. He replied, "Oh, we can all share this one." Obviously, I gave them all water, but that hit me pretty hard. He knew their eating schedules and would nag. My sister-in-law offered to make them mac and cheese or noodles or whatever we had laying around. He promised to clean up after, even though he was 12 years old. When normal kids play video games, they're glued to the screen. This kid was constantly checking over his shoulder to make sure everyone was safe. If he felt one of his sisters was up to no good, he would put the controller down, even if it meant dying or losing his progress in the game. To elaborate, what the oldest brother considered bad behavior was pretty innocuous. There were several instances of things I consider normal childish behavior that he would regularly put a stop to. The most outstanding one was being too loud. It wouldn't even be yelling or screaming, just typical 5-year-old make-believe noises that would cause him to run over and tell the little one to keep it down. 2. Having the ability to function as their own parent at a young age. Talking like an adult at a young age. Anything else that shows they had to grow up fast. 3. Insecurity. My psychology professor used to joke that psychology is the study of common sense. When someone is insecure, it is generally because they lacked security as a child. Parental love was typically conditional and varied depending on the caretaker's mood. The child becomes insecure due to love not being guaranteed. So, to earn this basic need, they will go throughout life trying to solve social puzzles that don't exist. Solving imaginary puzzles all the time can prove to be exhausting, so these individuals tend to isolate themselves. 4. Insanely independent. They've learned not to trust anyone to help them, so they do everything themselves. 5. I remember going to summer camp as a kid and meeting Milo. Milo was big on attention-seeking and validation. He would take food from the cafeteria back to his bunk, like eggs and toast. I remember thinking he was just weird, but looking back and knowing what I know now, he was probably being neglected at home. Thin as a rail and probably malnourished, he wanted as much food as he could get and just wanted someone to acknowledge him. Pretty sad stuff. 6. They apologize habitually, compulsively, and for everything, even for things that have nothing to do with them. 7. Everyone is different, but one sign that automatically raises a red flag for me and makes me extremely worried is when someone flinches for no reason. I wouldn't say it's for no reason, but I don't know what other words to use, so I'm really sorry about that. Like, you raise your voice slightly at them, and they flinch. You raise your hands to grab something near them, and they flinch. You look at them in a certain way, and they flinch. You hug them, and they flinch, etc. 8. When things get tense, they move and breathe very silently and are hyper-aware of everything that is happening in everyone else's actions. I find that they also read people very well but still have poor judgment when it comes to close relationships.